This is a video for how to go about creating a drawing template in Fusion. In the top right hand corner, before we get started, you're likely going to see your initials up here in the top right. I've put my face in here just as under preferences and how I've put my account, but you're probably going to see your initials up here. I want you to click on your initials and go to preferences. And when we go to preferences, we want to come over to the left-hand side and click on Drawing. And we want to make sure our standards are in ASME, which is American Society of Mechanical Engineers. We want to make sure our units are in inches. And we want to make sure that our sheet size is in landscape. And we're going to go ahead and say Apply and say OK. To start a new template, in the top left-hand corner, we're going to click on the File icon, and we're going to go down to New Drawing Template. And when Create Drawing Template shows up, we want it to have from scratch. The standard should be ASME. The units should be in inches. The sheet size should be an A size sheet. Now you see where it says the width is 11 and the height is 8.5. We want to keep that, and we're going to stay in a landscape orientation. And we're going to go ahead and say OK. And it will load a template, and it will also load just an example of a part as well that you can place. So as this is loading, you're going to see your sheet. It's going to give us, kind of this little part here. We're going to go ahead and left click and place that, and we're going to say OK. I'm just going to tap on the object itself inside here, and I'm going to go to delete on my keyboard, and it will delete it. You could also right click and go to delete as well when you click on that object. Next, we're going to want to get rid of this title block down here. I just want to get rid of it altogether. So what you're first going to do is you're just going to tap on the word project, or really any word that you see in the title block. And once you see it turn blue, you're going to right click and you're going to go down to Edit Title Block. And where it says ANSI Title Block, I'm going to highlight ANSI Title Block, and I'm going to call this PLTW Title Block. And I'm going to hit Enter. And automatically, it's going to change the interface a little bit. You're going to see some different icons up here. And what we want to do is we're going to get rid of this title block altogether. So somewhere down here in the bottom right, I'm going to click and hold down, and I want to drag over this title block, and I'm going to hit Delete. We want to keep Show Border, Show Layout Grid, and Snap to Grid on as we draw a line to begin with. So one thing I want you to know is where you put your mouse and move your mouse wheel, it's going to zoom in. If you push down on your mouse wheel, this is called panning, and it will move the border from left to right. We want to stay in a view about like this, and I want you to come up and click on the Line command. And I want you to notice that it's going to snap to grid. And one place I want you to snap to is just one small grid space up above. And we're going to click, and I'm going to zoom out by using my mouse wheel, and I want to come all the way over to the right, and I want to have a perfectly horizontal line, just like this. I want you to right click after you do that and say OK. We have ourselves a nice horizontal line. Make sure it's not crooked. And at this point, I want to go ahead and get rid of the snap to grid function. So we're going to uncheck the box that says snap to grid. Now we're going to be placing 4 separate attributes that will show up on all of our drawings as we turn them in class. You can also click on this icon right here. You can also go to text and go to attribute. And when we click on attribute, I want you to zoom in down here towards the bottom. And what I want is somewhere along the line, we're going to click, and I want you to keep drawn by. I want you to notice that it went ahead and snapped over to the side anyway. That's perfectly fine. We're going to stay with this height, and we're going to stay with this font, and we're going to say close. Now, once we've placed this, even if it snaps over here to the side, we can drag this over a little bit and give ourselves just a little bit more space. It won't stay snapped. Drawn by is where it's going to pull your name onto every drawing. You will not have to write your name on each drawing. We're going to come up to attribute again. I'm going to place anywhere along this line. It might snap here to this point, this midpoint right here. I'm going to go ahead and click, and where it says drawn by, we're going to go down to part name, and I'm just going to go ahead and say close. And where I see model part name, I can go and drag that over, and we want to keep that along this same line as much as possible. One of the things that's nice, like where you see drawn by, you can see the this kind of underscore symbol here. If we can keep that underscore symbol as close as possible to the same location as drawn by, we'll be good. We're going to stay model part name. We can even move that over to the right just a little bit. We're not going to stick with exact dimensions on here. A traditional title block has blocks and spaces and squares where all these different informations go. We're just going to keep with just 4 things that just go right across the bottom in a nice little clean, consistent way. We're going to go to attribute, anywhere along this line right here. I'm going to click. Where it says part name, we're going to go to drawn date. That'll pull the date that you made the drawing directly onto the drawing sheet. And another attribute that we're going to do is going to be scale. We're going to go to drawn date. We're going to go to drawing scale. We're going to say close. I'm just going to drag this along right along here. All we want to do is try to make sure that everything is on a pretty consistent line, if I can. I accidentally clicked on the There we go. I accidentally clicked on the line. So I want to move this along just a little bit. When it shows up, drag this down. Perfect. Here we go. Those are only the 4 things that we really want. Now, the only reason why we have this line right here was just to give us, you know, kind of an idea, kind of a construction line for how we wanted that to line up from left to right. I'm going to hit that line, I'm going to hit delete, and I'm going to go to finish title block. And when I go to finish title block, you can see down here in parentheses where it says username, model name, create date, and scale. Anytime I create a drawing, it's going to automatically place those items down here at the bottom. Now let's make sure we go to save. And when you go to save, you want to make sure you remember which project folder that you turn this in. Now when we go to save, you can also go to new project. You can create a new project right here and save your title block in a new project folder called title block. Let's not go in and create a new folder unless you want to create a new folder inside an existing project. Right here you'll see it says, for me it says, you know, selfie stick fall 2024. This is specifically generally for my 20 ISOs project. So I might want to place it in here, and where it says untitled up here, I'm going to call this title block. You can call it PLTW title block, whatever you wish. And when I say save, you're going to notice that where it said untitled before, it now says title block. And I can now use that whenever I create a drawing of any part. It will automatically pull that information in. So if I just by chance wanted to come over and open up any data that I had right here, like just for instance this this part, I'm going to go to new drawing from design where it says template. I can just go to my PLTW title block, say OK, and then as this loads, you'll notice it's going to pull my name and the date. Notice how it pulled all that information down here. Now just with this example, you'll notice this goes a little bit further. I have project folder and I have some other things in here, so it kind of goes on top of each other. We can always go back and switch some of those things out. So that is how you go about creating a title block for our class in Introduction to Engineering Design and also in Fusion 360.